Hey everyone, Jules here with Dropping Jules, and today I have a very special guest, Celeste, and she's joining us to give us jewels on everything on real estate, how she got started, her life, and just sharing everything. So, without further ado, hi Celeste, how are you?
Hey Jules, hey everyone. Thank you for having me here. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, we're honored to have you here. How's your week been going?
Week's been busy. The kids are home, so it's always like getting them occupied and stuff. Just last Friday, I had like 14 kids in the house, and like a
Oh
small
my gosh.
because we're not going on any vacation this week. So,
Mhm.
and they asked for a sleepover, and
Uh-huh.
they've been really amazing kids.
Oh,
So
that's
I
so
was like, okay, fine. So I have four kids. So to anyone who doesn't know, I'm a wife. We have four kids, and
awesome.
all of them invited two or three. That's why there's like 14 kids.
What were the age ranges in your house?
So our kids are 11, 12, 13, and 15.
Okay.
And so just imagine the age ranges,
The age range, yes.
the amount of pizza boxes, chicken nuggets, and the whole shebang of goodies and stuff. But they were a good bunch. They were a good bunch. They cleaned up after themselves and everything, and they
Oh,
had fun, which is more important. So
that's the main
yeah,
thing. And plus, they were with you, so
yeah, they're with me, and there was like there's an ongoing snowstorm in New England right now where it's storming every other day or so.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was nice. It's good that we love road trips. If we were going on a trip, we would probably have a road trip. So good thing we didn't do it this week because it's
Oh
just
yeah, with
the
the
amount of
weather.
snow. Yeah, yeah, the weather's crazy. So, but yeah, doing great so far. So good. I've been in um, work from home for 2 years now, two and a half, close to
Awesome.
two and a half,
Mhm.
and so yeah, I've been accustomed to it. So
That's
it's great.
great. That's great. So, give us a little bit about your background. How did you get started in real estate?
All right,
What were you
perfect.
doing?
So my journey, I never had any background in real estate. I know nothing about real estate. Back home is from the Philippines. I was originally there, lived there, grew up there, moved from the Philippines to Canada. I'm Canadian too, to anyone who doesn't know. So my family moved to Montreal after my sister petitioned us, and I met my husband, Philip, and he's from Boston. That's why I moved here. He's also Filipino, born and raised there, and moved here when he was like 16 or something. And so got married. Took a while for us to have a kid. For the longest time, what I wanted was to have a family and to be a mom of multiple children. And as you know, when you plan your life, it doesn't always happen the way you planned it, right?
Mhm.
So it took us 9 years to have a child, and our family is it's a non-traditional family. When I said it took us 9 years to have a child, um, we've gone through IVFs, IUI, multiple
Mhm. Mhm.
miscarriages. I've had six miscarriages before our son came, and then another one after he was already born. And
Oh,
so just the roller coaster of events
sure.
and stuff.
Mhm.
And we came to know that I couldn't have any children anymore because of um, my body, and so we decided to adopt, and that's where the other three of our children came about. We adopted three kids from the Philippines. We were only going to adopt one.
Mhm.
However, again, God had another plan for us, and
Yes.
so He showed us these three children, and you can't separate them once you see
Can't
them.
separate the
So
family. Oh, wow.
yeah, yeah. And so we weren't even sure if we can afford to have, to adopt three, to adopt one, let alone three,
Oh,
right?
three. Right. Right.
So constant prayer, and just we have a very supportive family. And
Mhm.
so that's where we get our strength
Sure.
from. Yeah, yeah. And so after another long wait, they finally came here in 2019, right
Oh,
before the pandemic. December December of 2019, we were given a go ahead to
oh
take
wow.
them from the Philippines to here. And I was
Mhm.
like, hurried up, packed my bag within a week, and then stayed there for another 2 weeks because of the paperwork and all the
Mhm.
clearances. And then we were able to celebrate the first Christmas in Boston
Wow.
in
Wow.
2019. Yeah, yeah. And all hell broke loose after that because they haven't even started like 2 months in school. They started January, almost February in school because of all the clearances again. Um,
Mhm.
and then went to school for a month. and then February pandemic.
Yes. Yes.
And so that kind of forced us to be together, know
Mhm.
each other. So it was, to a lot of people, the pandemic was like a really bad place in time, which, I share that
Mhm.
belief. But in our case, it kind of forced us to be together.
The
In a way,
family
it's kind of like a blessing in disguise.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so we got to know each other really quickly because we were like stuck for the whole
Right. Yeah.
2 years. So our son had a little bit of a challenge because from being one kid, only child, to having three other in
Three
there.
others. Yes.
So we were able to deal with all those challenges and everything. Now they're like, you can't separate them. They
Mhm.
sleep in one room and all that stuff. It's just recently that they were like, I want my own room. I want my own room. So because they've grown. So they're now, when I brought the children here, they were 6, 8 and something.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now they're like 11, 12, 13, so, and 15. And so, yeah, um, having that many children, we really wanted to have
Mhm.
passive income because I was working. The pandemic kind of stopped me from working. My husband was the sole breadwinner. But then after pandemic, the amount of food that we eat, the extracurricular activities that you need to pay when you
Yeah.
have that many children, it adds up. And
Sure.
we're like, the savings that we have, the money that's coming in, the
Mhm.
children are growing, the needs get more and more. And
Mhm.
so we need more income coming in. So
Yes.
that's when we realized, we need passive income.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So through watching Bigger Pockets, um, we're like, we gotta buy a house, so we have a rental. We can have $100 cash flow with a rental.
So you went with a minimum $100 cash flow. Yeah.
Yeah, $100 cash, because that's what the BRR method is what they. So
Right.
you buy, your rent, you renovate, your rent, and you repeat it, refinance and repeat. So okay, let's buy a house and stuff like that. So I was able to buy. I was gonna close on a house,
Okay.
um, but
What
then
year? I don't mean to. What
that
year?
was 2022.
2022.
Oh,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
2021. I was
Okay.
gonna close on a house
Mhm.
um in December of that. It's for some reason it always happens on a
In
December.
December.
Yeah, that December 1st or 2nd, we were supposed to close the house. So we were supposed to go to the bank because we're gonna do a
Mhm.
huge withdrawal because we're gonna buy our house traditional, and
Okay.
we usually put down like 10% or whatever.
Mhm.
And so my husband and I sat down that dinner. We were like, okay, we wake up at 7, we go do our morning thing, and we go to the bank and we go to the closing, right?
Right.
Um, Again, this is the thing again with the planning. God gives you something else. He's like, "Next
Right.
plan, I'm gonna like give you something else." That night, my husband had a massive heart attack,
Oh, my
and
goodness.
so he
Wow.
was like, "Fine, dinner time, fine before going to bed." And then when we were on the bed already, I was actually, so
Mm.
my thing with food is I love desserts. So even if I'm going to bed, I'm still gonna have coffee and my brownie or something like that, right? That's like my guilty
Mhm.
pleasure. Um, so I still have my coffee, and I was like reading while drinking my coffee, and then my cupcake on the side and stuff like that. My husband woke up, all of a
Mhm.
sudden woke up, and he was like, "What's going on?" And for some reason, I felt something different, that
Mhm.
he is a different person at that time. I was like, something's wrong with him. I know it in my heart.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I told him, what's going on? Let's go to the hospital. And
Mhm.
I'm going to take you to the hospital. And I already called 911 at that point.
Mhm.
But then I hang up because he was able to stand up. I was like, okay, I'm just going to drive you. Um, but then all of a sudden, when he stood up, he went back to bed and lay flat on the bed and start, shaking and everything.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
And I started CPR, doing CPR on him at that in the bed.
Mhm.
And good thing 911 called back, and he said, "Is something okay?" I was like, "You know what? Never mind what I said earlier. Bring bring everyone in here because my husband's having."
Mm. Oh my
And
gosh.
so I did the CPR on him until the paramedics came, and even when the paramedics were there, they weren't replacing me. They were like letting me. there were like 9 people inside our bedroom, but they're not taking me out of there and replacing me with something. It's
Mm,
because they couldn't find a pulse of my husband.
mm.
They couldn't find a pulse,
Oh
and
wow.
I was there like it felt like forever. Me doing the
Mhm,
CPR on him. It felt like I
mhm,
was there for like a good 10 minutes, and they couldn't find a pulse. And I didn't realize that that's what they do. They have to have a pulse first before they put in the whole thing. I only
mhm,
learned that after,
mhm.
when they found like a very faint thing. They had to go to his feet, everywhere they looked for it.
Oh, wow.
When they
Okay.
finally found it, they put the whole machine in him that was
Mhm.
like pushing his
Brittany
chest.
Fair. Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. It looked like a robot to me. It's like so spaceshipy for me.
Wow.
It was like I saw his chest going like this. I was like,
Mm.
oh my gosh, is he gonna die with that machine?
Oh
but
wow.
but yeah, so again, long story short, he was in coma for a week, and on the second day we were told we have to say goodbye to him because
Mm,
he's not gonna make it. Everything failed. He was in ice, that wasn't working. His brain had so many tubes. He swelled up like 5 6 times. It didn't even look like him, on
mhm.
that second day. And so, again, God had another plan. He just miraculously opened up his eyes on the nth
That's
day.
awesome.
I don't even remember when that is. I know I was so happy because I was waiting for him to wake up. And
Mhm.
he woke up, and it's as if nothing happened. And you know what he asked me
Mm.
when he woke up?
About the house.
Yeah.
Oh my
What
gosh.
happened to the house? I was like, are
Oh,
you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
wow.
Um, yeah, and I was just because that's the last thing he
This thing on
remembered.
your mind.
Yeah, that's the last thing he
Oh my
remembered.
god.
But I was so ready to. I bought the bed because I was like, I'm gonna bring my husband home as a vegetable, and
Mhm,
so I bought the bed that goes up like that.
mhm,
I already
mhm.
called my friend who has like ramps, and I tailored my living room downstairs turned into like a hospital,
Mm.
because
Wow.
I knew that, you know, I'm not giving up. I don't want him to die. Even if he's a vegetable, I'm going to take him home. And
Right.
so, but then, yeah, he woke up, miraculously, nothing major happened to him. And he remembers a lot of, he didn't have any memory loss aside from that night that it happened.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
God for that.
And that's really the wake up call. I've been asking myself what really brought me to what's my why.
Yes.
You know, you're gonna make me cry here.
I'm so
Like, what's my
sorry.
why with? Oops, sorry. What's my why
Mhm,
with doing real estate and finding financial freedom? But it's
mhm.
really that.
Yes. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, that's just starting so far, and thank you for being vulnerable here and sharing with us that journey, that you've overcome so much and so much tragedy, but yet a lot of joy and a lot of blessings,
yeah,
because
yeah. Yeah, that's right.
we do
Right.
have, we have our plan, but God has a purpose for our life. And as you
Yeah,
can tell,
exactly.
with the adoption, with your kids, and with the
Mhm,
miraculous healing of your husband. So,
mhm.
um, thank you for sharing. Take your
Yeah.
time. We can continue.
I said I'm not gonna cry because of my why, but that's really is the why.
No, that's the
So
why.
we only have limited time in here, so I
Yes.
want to have the finances to be able to do what we want to do,
Hmm.
go where we want to go, and just
Hmm.
spend time with family. And at the end of the day, that's what's important. So,
Yes,
yeah.
and it really is. Yes.
Mhm.
So he asked you if you bought the house. What did you tell
Tell me
him?
if I bought that house. Yeah. Um, but then quickly after that, within the week of him waking up, talking about this happened, and we didn't even have anything to leave the kids, right? Yeah,
Right.
we have a house, and we have our life insurances and whatever possessions we have, but there's really nothing for them to go, you
Right.
know? And
Yeah.
so we had a game plan.
Hmm.
We need to buy more houses. We need to have more passive income and stuff.
Hmm.
So a couple of months, so that happened. That all happened in December. Um, we already quickly went on vacation. He
Hmm.
just had to make sure that he's better and everything the whole January. February, March, we traveled. We just went on vacation. We went to
Okay.
Disney. We went to Florida. We went everywhere. We went to Chicago. So we went that whole trip,
Hmm.
um, and then all the while we're looking for houses. We've
Hmm.
been doing open houses and everything like that. So after the trip, when we came back, we vigorously looked for houses, and I didn't know anything creative then. It's just regular conventional
Hmm.
looking for houses, talking to a realtor and all that, putting in 10% down,
Sure.
which is ridiculous to me now.
Ridiculous now.
Yeah, yeah. It's like that's a lot of money.
Right.
I can do a lot of things for that.
Right.
But yeah. So in that summer, we bought two properties, one after the other, like 2 weeks apart. Um,
Wow.
and we just wanna scale. We just wanna make sure, And since then, we now have five properties, and that we own and manage, and all that, like traditional buying and everything, because that's where we started. We have one
Congrats.
we partnered with someone, but
Hmm.
that's really where it started from. So yeah.
Yeah. So it shifted your why change, right? So,
Yeah. And
how,
it accelerated even more because you see life is short, and you cannot wait for things to happen. You got to make it happen.
you
So
have to make it happen.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
you take the bull by the horns,
Hmm.
and you guys started the scaling. So you purchased a two, now you're up to five. So thank you for that. What kind of strategies are you guys using? Like
We,
what are you doing? You said you started traditional, right? And how did you find out about creative? Pace Morby, of course.
yeah, yeah. So since buying all those properties, right,
Mhm.
um, we ran out of money because we used all our money. So we have like three houses all at once that we needed to furnish because Airbnb was huge then, and
Mhm.
that's where we started.
Okay.
So three new houses, furnished it using our own money, credit
Hmm.
cards and everything, because we didn't know any better. We didn't know that someone else can fund it and we can just pay them monthly and stuff like that. So we use our own money for that. And the houses that we buy, they're big houses, like 9 bedrooms, whatever bedrooms, and 6 bedrooms, 7 bedrooms. And so it's not easy to furnish.
Yes.
We cannot just furnish them IKEA furnitures because
Yeah.
a lot of it there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of people rent there, and it's better to buy sturdy than to keep replacing it. It's going to be more expensive in the long run. So every
Mhm.
time we go to an appliance store, I ask my husband is a big person, and I
Mhm.
was like, okay, jump on that bed. If it can handle you, it can handle anyone.
So it
So
was.
I would, my kids, my husband would jump on it or like
Mhm.
whatever, stomp on it. My kids too. Okay, if
Mhm.
it's sturdy enough for us, it's sturdy enough for everyone. And
Okay.
so we made it a family affair. So everything that we do, we make sure that we involve our children in it. They know
Awesome.
every step of the way because we
Love
don't
that.
want them to be like unaware of what we're doing because they're directly involved in what we were doing. So the reason I say that because we the house that we had before, we stayed there for a week, and then we would go to the other house, furnish it for a couple of weeks, and then we
Mhm.
would move to another house and furnish it. And so
Mhm.
we live locally here in Massachusetts, but
Mhm.
we live in suitcases because
Oh, yeah.
we move
You're
from one
moving.
house to the other.
Mhm.
There was one time when we bought this other property that we lived in a tiny home, six
Mhm.
of us in a tiny home, not even 200 square feet. You know,
Oh.
because we needed to furnish the main house,
Mhm.
and stuff are going in there, so we can't be in there. So we had to stay for I think for a couple of weeks there, and
Mhm.
then we had to move back. And then when we were here, we were like furnishing it again and stuff. And so yeah, the kids were younger then, and so it was kind of like an adventure um,
Yes.
to them. And we kind of tell them that a house is just a house. You make it a home when we're there.
Right.
So wherever we are, it's a home.
Mhm.
If it's a house, it's just a house. So we can have as many houses we want, but the home that we call home is where we're at. We're
Right,
all
I
at.
love
So,
that. Yeah. I love that you're getting them all involved and,
yeah.
creating an adventure. I was going to say that tiny home, you probably have so much memories.
Yeah. Imagine that, six people and two dogs.
Oh my,
We
two
didn't
dogs.
have the turtles or the fishes then, but now
Okay.
we have the turtles, the tortoise, and everything. But
Sure.
yeah, so we started short term rentals, and then winter time comes here in New England. it slows down, right? And so that's where I
Mhm.
found co-living,
Okay.
which we didn't call it co-living then. We called it rooming,
Right.
and so,
Which
uh,
is exactly what it is.
yeah,
Rooming.
which is exactly what it is. You room
Mhm.
different people, and so it's kind of like a mixed facility that we have there.
Mhm.
Um, it's still listed in short term in Airbnb, VRBO, but I
Mhm.
have people that are rooming there that are staying
Okay.
monthly or weekly. And then I discovered corporate housing, which is midterm, and so
Mhm.
I found it very uh, I loved it because there's minimal overhead, right? Because
Mhm. Mhm.
they stay there longer. I only
Mhm.
deal with the company, and that's it. So what I did is I called companies, insurance companies. I
Mhm.
called hospitals and schools and asked
Mhm.
them if you have people that are looking for homes,
Mhm.
especially the hospitals. I actually offer them a discount, 10-15% discount for families of their patients that are looking to find, to house their, you know. And then I called hospices because,
Mhm.
visiting families that are has an elderly in there. Um,
Yes.
and so I
Mhm.
got a lot of traction with that, and yeah, that's where I
Mhm.
started. And
Awesome.
just a year and a half ago, I posted my property on Zillow because all of my tenants, only one of them renewed, and the other ones are weekly. And I was
Okay.
like, I gotta make this better, and so I
Mhm.
listed them on Zillow looking for more longer term. An organization found my property, and
Mhm.
they're renting out to transition housing.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah, and when I learned about their program, um, I sat the guy down and I asked them, I'm really interested in what you're doing. Can you share me more? And
Mhm.
then he shared me what they're doing, the advocacy and how they got the grants and all that.
Mhm.
And I kind of struck a deal with him. I told him, can I be your point person here in Massachusetts that,
Mhm.
we partner whatever it is that you lack, I can provide. So they lack
Awesome.
housing, and so whenever they get grants, they go to me and they say, "Hey, Celeste, I need 20 doors in this city. Can you get me that?" I go out and find that property, put it
Mhm.
under contract, and then we put people in there. We put families in there. And so I'm still doing that. I've helped a few people in the community that
Mhm.
has a lot of vacancies or their
Mhm.
house has been not renting a lot. And so I try to see if our program would be okay
Yes.
with renting that. And yeah, so far so good.
Yeah. Are they only located in Massachusetts or they're
For right
nationwide?
now, they're located in Massachusetts. We're
That's
trying
awesome.
to expand to Connecticut. I'm
Mhm.
still working on the Connecticut and New Hampshire one. I think it's getting better with the Connecticut one. We're still looking for the New Hampshire, but I
Awesome.
think Connecticut is going to be better.
Okay.
Yeah,
So New
yeah,
England. Okay.
yeah.
Awesome.
New
Awesome.
England for right now. But I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure there are those organizations across the state too.
Of
So
course.
for the
Yes.
south,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So you went from Airbnb, you did some short term, then midterm, and now you're housing transitional,
Mm-hmm,
which is awesome. So you're covering a lot of different strategies.
mm-hmm.
What's next for you?
So right now we are actually converting our properties into residential assisted living.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, residential assisted living. I
Why
kind
the
of
shift?
yeah. So I kind of found that my passion is helping people,
Mm-hmm.
and especially the seniors. Now that I have like a senior mom, and now she's healthy enough for her to bounce around kids. We're seven siblings. I live in the States. A lot of my other family members live in Canada and in Europe, in Holland and in Florence. And so she goes there, spends there a few months at a time. And now she's actually here. She's here with us for a few months. Um, but yeah, so, and she's very independent.
That's
She still
awesome.
has an apartment back in Canada where she
Hmm.
stays home there. But yeah, I want to give them more of quality of life. I
Yes.
want to
Yes.
provide services to seniors because they're only going to stay there for a good, let's say optimistically, max 10 years, 5 to
Hmm.
10 years, right?
Hmm.
depending on their health. And so I want to give them that quality of life. Sometimes they find their partner there until they die, or sometimes they find their true family there. And so that's the community that I want to bring them. Not just a place to, let the days go by without doing anything, or, being sad there alone. I want to provide services that would give them um, ability to keep waking up in the morning happy and looking for a purpose and stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's what I want to do.
that's awesome. Now, is it independent assisted living or independent living or?
Independent living. So I want to start with independent living,
I love that. Yes.
because
Hmm.
less regulations with independent living, because
Yes.
I'm not administering any medication. There will be some medication reminders, but not
Mhm.
necessarily administering them. Because once you administer, you need nurses, you need, all those other services.
Mhm.
Eventually, once we have more, then yeah. But for right now, I'd love to do um, independent living, independent seniors that
Mhm.
could still do most of the things, but I'm gonna take away the kind of like chores that they have to do, so they can just
Mhm.
do whatever it is that they enjoy. Yeah, and start local here in Massachusetts,
Mhm.
because I find that assisted living, senior housing in the states, they're more on the Sunbelt area.
Yes. Yes.
Colder, yeah, because it's warmer and everything like that. But most of them, they leave their families in the East Coast, so they're the only ones living in there. When
Mhm.
something happens to them, you know a week later, then their family would find out, because it's just too far away.
Yes.
I want to cater with the families in here. And when I did my research, a lot of people that moves to New England, they stay in New England,
Oh, okay. Wow.
because in the summer, it's nice here in the summer.
Beautiful. Mhm.
Beautiful. We have the beaches, we have the mountains, we have, best of both worlds, and we still have the four seasons, and we have, our culture is very rich in here.
Mhm.
And the history is very rich in here as well. And there's a lot of things to do even in the winter, because we're like winter people in here.
Yes.
So I wanna put up senior facilities here in Massachusetts, that their families are still here. They can visit anytime, and
Mhm.
that they don't need to go far. And
Yeah.
they still have some things to do even if it's cold outside. So
I love that you're creating that community for them, as well as creating services around things that they can do. Well, here in Florida, there's a lot of senior communities, and it's amazing to see the what they
mhm,
create. They have like Latin dances.
mhm,
I just went to one recently. They have bingo,
mhm.
dance night. They do so many different activities for the seniors, and it's independent, so they just come in at different times, and
Yeah,
it's amazing. Yes, I
mhm,
love that.
yeah.
Let them enjoy, the years that they have. I love
Yeah,
that.
exactly, exactly. And the amount of seniors that are coming in the next few years, within the next
Yes.
5 years, it's
Oh wow.
one in
Yeah.
four
Maybe.
is turning
Yes.
into a senior every single, not even day, every single, what was my research say? One in four every minute or whatever is
Oh
becoming a
wow.
senior.
Yeah.
So 20 million in about a few years. So yeah, even if every one of us puts up a senior facility, we're never gonna run out.
Yeah.
It's all, and everyone's getting old.
It's going to be, the crisis. It's the definitely a reality, and it's going to be insane trying to house everyone,
Mm-hmm.
and the housing community is going to be crashing for sure with that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And a
yeah.
good amount of VAs too. So I have one property in Boston that I'm turning into a VA housing,
Hmm.
wherein where it's like the independent housing for seniors, but catered towards the veterans, wherein we will provide a few services for them as well.
Hmm.
But they will be more involved, um, because I think some of them might need. Um, but I would have help from the VA department
Oh,
on
for care, for
for
health
care,
wise,
for care,
yes.
for mental health, for
Mhm.
every other, for social worker and stuff. So that's why I said it's more involved, because I would have to have outside help. I
Yes.
don't have to deal with that, but the VA is gonna help me with that. So those are the things that I wanted to. That's why I want to pivot my properties into those caregiving kind of facilities instead of just renting it out short term or whatever.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
no, but you're changing lives in the process, and thank you. You have such a big heart, and thank
Oh,
you. You know, veterans are near and dear to my heart, so I appreciate
yeah,
you doing
yeah,
that. So,
yeah.
giving back and giving back to the community, that's awesome. Thank you so much for doing
Thank,
that.
yeah, yeah. I try. So hopefully, it's just because you have to deal with outside entities. It's
Mhm.
really kind of like hard. But if it's easy, everyone's gonna be doing it, right?
Right, that's right.
That's why it's, it's hard because there's a purpose to it. That's why it's hard.
Yeah,
Otherwise, everyone else would be putting it up left and right. So regulations are there to be followed, and it's just something. It's just a bump in the road, and once that bump in the road is done, it's
hmm
gonna be smooth. Not really smooth sailing, but yeah, you're in there. You
yeah.
figure out what you need to do after.
Right. Like you said, Pace says, we do the hard things, right?
Hmm.
We do the
Hmm.
hard work. So, if it was easy, like you said, everybody will be doing it. So I commend
Exactly.
you. I mean, you've been through what a journey, tragedy, just dealing with everything, and you're coming out strong and helping others in the process, right?
Mhm.
And seniors, that community, they need help. So sometimes I feel like they're just a number, and it's just a bed count that the traditional organizations look for. So I love that you're taking that perspective and pouring love into them for what they need.
Yeah. So I'm doing smaller scale.
Yes.
Um, yeah, yeah. So 10 below, 20 max
Hmm.
in one facility because I want it to be care centered, and I want to also take care of the employees that I will be having because that's the big turnaround with facilities like this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of turnovers, and
There
so
is.
that's what I want to avoid is the turnover because
Mhm.
the amount of training that they're going to go through, that you're going to have to put them through,
Yes.
the money that it's going to cost you to train people and stuff. You want them to stay there and be happy staying there,
Mhm.
not really forced to stay there. So I want to take care of that end as well, be a
Mhm.
better employer to the
Yes.
employee, and then so that my residents would be taken care of. So yeah,
Mhm.
happy
Yeah.
employees, happy residents,
And
kind of.
that's right. That's right. And the aides, I mean, they give their heart and soul. And when my mother was in a nursing home, you can see that they truly care. But the
Mhm.
administrators and the higher ups, it's just like, come on, let's go. We got a
Mhm.
schedule to keep, right? We
Exactly.
got to get feeding. You got to change your clothes. You got to do this. So
Mhm.
they weren't able to give the care. And I love that you said it's caring focus and
Mhm.
taking care of the employees because they truly it truly takes a special person to do that role and to do that
Exactly.
job per
Mhm.
se, but it's not really a
Mhm.
job because they truly care,
Mhm.
and it's just they don't get paid at all.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I want to take care of them and just make sure that they feel important, you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
and that they're taken care of,
Yes,
So,
yes,
yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah. Because at the end of the day, they're working for their families too. All of
That's right.
us are working for someone.
That's right.
So, yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah. And your kids, how involved are they as far as in the journey? Any of them have a special talent that they take after? Like
oh,
you
all of them knows how to turn over a room.
already. Oh
They
my.
know how to. They know how to do the. All of my kids know how to cook. They do their own laundry. They
Mhm.
cook every weekend. The breakfast. They cook like the fried rice, not like the bougie just pancakes and stuff. No, they cook the whole thing. They cook traditional Filipino food and American food, spaghetti and all
Awesome.
that.
Hmm.
Chicken cacciatore. They know how to do
Oh
that.
wow.
And so they and I told them, even if we die right now, you can live because you know how to clean, cook for yourselves, fend for
Right.
yourselves. And they
Amazing.
actually do. They shovel for me, I pay them. I have people that shovel the driveway and stuff,
Mhm.
but like
Sure.
the little stairs that go up to the different houses. My youngest boy, the 11-year-old, I pay him $20 to do the stairs and
Oh,
then
that's
salt
awesome.
them and everything.
Yes, to
So
get
yeah,
teaching
yeah,
to
they pay
true.
for their own telephone, cell phones,
Mhm.
and so yeah, they're very involved, and I just want to make sure that they know the value of money. That yeah,
Yes.
when they hear the thing, money don't grow on trees, but and they were like, yeah, they do. They're paper.
Yes.
So yeah, yeah, they really. So
Mhm.
but yeah, I want them to know the value of money, that you have to work for it.
Hmm.
And it's not easy. So some people don't have it easy. Like I told my son, yeah, you shovel the ice and you get $20. It doesn't matter how long you work or whatever. Some people do it day in, day out, and they get paid way less than that.
Yes,
So
yeah.
I just make sure that they know how blessed and lucky they are to be in the space that we are right now, because not everybody is. So
I know. And they're blessed to have you as a mama.
oh,
You're doing a great job.
I try.
That's amazing. And instilling skills in them, that's life skills. Because in college they do teach certain things, but they don't teach life skills. If they can
Exactly.
turn a room, that's great. They're going
Mhm.
to carry on your legacy, and that's what it's about. When you said your why, right? You're leaving something for them, the passive income, and in the meantime, you're also changing lives, Celeste. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much
Oh,
for
thank
doing this.
you.
You just touched my heart. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I got a backlash with them when they were like, because kids are kids. They're gonna complain when I ask them to do the laundry or whatever, and they're like, my classmates don't even do this. Yeah, they don't know how to do anything.
Right. Yeah. So that's why you're
You're
better off.
smarter already, 90% smarter than everyone else.
Right.
But yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, how can someone? What's the best way for people to reach out to you? If they want to connect with you to find out more information, or just hear more of your story.
Yeah, so it's right in there, Celeste Samonte. I'm Celeste Samonte on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and on YouTube. You can find me
Awesome.
there too. Yeah.
Okay.
So right now, I'm looking for people who want to partner with residential assisted living, may it be in Massachusetts or outside. We can partner with acquisitions or the operations, and I'm always looking for to raise capital so that yeah, we can move forward and build more residential assisted living and just more transitional housing across the state.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So everyone, you heard it here. Celeste, you can reach out to her at Celeste Samonte on all platforms and on YouTube. She is looking for capital, guys, and she's doing amazing stuff, acquisitions, operations. She's a badass. Let's
Mhm.
get with her and connect and JV and do some deals together. All right, thank you so. Any last minute? Sorry, you want anything to
No,
share?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, so I wish to connect with anyone there that is looking to do the same thing that I do. Appreciate you.
Sure. And thank you so much, Celeste. It was such an honor to have you here on Dropping Jules. And guys, join us again. Our information will be in the description of the video. And thank you all for listening. And we'll see you on the next show. Thank
All
you so
right,
much.
thank you. All right.